Once upon a time, in the country of present Turkey, a king ruled a kingdom. He was very fond of hunting. He was a famous hunter in the kingdom, and there was no one to beat him in hunting in his country. The king had a loyal and intelligent pet falcon. He took the falcon wherever he went for hunting. On one such hunting expedition, the falcon sat on the king's shoulder when he rode into the thick forest. The servants also rode behind him, watching the falcon seriously. At a place he stopped and watched very curiously. He heard a strange noise and saw a gazelle. He said, "How beautiful it is!" He was very much attracted by its graceful walk and the long, slender antlers. Suddenly he took his bow and arrow and aimed at the animal, but the animal quickly sped away from that place. The king and the servants chased it into the forest, but the animal dodged them to escape. It sprang between the trees and bushes and ran away into the thick forest. When the king continued his chasing, the servants could not follow him and stayed back. The king was isolated from his servants with his horse and falcon. Evening came. The king felt very tired and he was also thirsty. He cried, "Water! Water, please!" He moved here and there in search of water. He lost his way also. Finally, he came near a pond with little water. He quickly took his jar and filled it with water. As he was exhausted very much, he brought the jar near his mouth. The falcon flapped its wings at the jar, making the jar slip, and the water flowed out to the ground. He cried, "What did you do? Can't you know? I am thirsty now." The king patiently bent down and refilled his jar with water to drink. When he tried again, the falcon again fluttered and spilled the water on the ground. Now the king got angry and said, "Are you mad? Don't you know my thirst?" But the falcon continued flapping around the king. So he thought that the falcon was an ungrateful bird. He drew out his sword from the cover to kill the falcon. But the falcon screamed and looked at the king. The king felt that the bird wanted to tell him something. He looked up and saw some poisonous snakes on the branches of the tree. He realized that the water in the pond was full of poison dropping from the mouths of the snakes. If the king drank the water, he would be dead. The falcon had prevented its master from drinking the poisonous water. The king realized that the faithful falcon had saved his life. He smiled at the bird and murmured, "You are my good friend." The falcon also felt glad that his master understood its good intention.